How does it inject your fire when there's no injector holes? So I'm wondering how many more of these are torn. Well, good morning, you guys. It's a week later. I just got back from working and I'm ready to jump back into the Fummins project. Today we're gonna start tinkering on putting this engine back together. I had quite a few parts show up in the mail. So we're gonna do the oil pump. We're also gonna do the front main seal, which I'm gonna put a wear sleeve on, press that on. I've got a list together kind of this morning of the things that I can start doing. Try to get the reflection a little bit better for you guys. We got to grind the valves, do the valve seals, put the head gasket on, time the pump, then set the head on, torque the head stud, set valve lash, do a heat cycle, set valve lash again. Wire wheel the head because it's pretty rusty. I never painted it when I put it on because it was supposed to be real temporary. What else do we have? Paint the head, paint the exhaust manifold. We're going to do the oil pump and front main seal, timing cover gasket, air compressor gasket. I got to put the air compressor back in, put the timing in. I need to put my new AirDog fuel pump in. You guys, the AirDog fuel pumps, I have had a few of them and for some reason they just up and quit for no reason. AirDog customer service is absolutely amazing. They take a phone call, you tell them, explain what happened, and they will ship you another one, which has been extremely helpful. But I need to change that out. What else do we got here? Okay, so pretty much once I've got it done, I've done a hot retorque. I'm gonna load my skid steer onto a flatbed trailer and go over the hill to a grade that's about 7% grade, and I'm just gonna tow my flatbed trailer with the skid steer on there for about 4 hours, just going up and going down and going up and going down to basically break the rings in and get them to seat correctly because I don't have a dyno, and that's what Tim at Power Driven Diesel said. So also Tim at Power Driven Diesel has been extremely helpful on this build. I've called him almost every day last week when I was working on it with questions, and he was awesome to work with. And the parts that they send out are really easy to get a hold of on their website. So let's jump into this. Good morning, guys. Welcome back to part 2 out of this who knows how many series. Today I am getting some stuff painted, primed and painted. Also got a lot of the engine bolted up from yesterday. And then today what I'm working on is grinding valve stems, putting new valve seals in. I got the top hat style because I just feel like they don't end up leaking and not as prone to tearing. Okay, so what I've been doing, I've already done one set, is I'll set the head on its side, and then you can just push the valves in like that, and you'll be able to see them spin. I take them out and just completely wire wheel them because they have a lot of carbon buildup. The rest is just because I pressure washed this yesterday. And so there's your before. Just a lot of carbon on there. It comes off pretty easy. Okay, well there's it after putting it on the bench grinder. This stuff will all come out pretty easy, so it's not a big deal. Okay, so you guys will get this point of view, but also just to show you, take a little bit of your valve grinding compound and just dabble on there and get it around the seat of it and everything like that. Also, this is hilarious. I always buy 2 of everything when I go to the store because you never know if you run out or if you need more. I'm running around looking for my valve compound, and I'm sitting down, I'm like, wait, why is my butt wet? This was sitting on the bench here I was sitting on, and I just squished it all over the floor. Like, well, good thing I got 2 of them. Okay, I just figured I'd show you guys what this looks like. You're basically just gonna run this in and out for 60 seconds. And what that looks like on this side is you're just pulling the valve out so that you can get some more compound down there and you can hear the change in sound. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that so I can focus on it and you guys will see it in that camera. Put the old oil pump out. And we can put the new one in. Nothing wrong with this one, but I'm already in here, so might as well put a new one in. The difference between the stock Cummins 12 valve oil pump and the one that's aftermarket, they are a lot closer on the gear set to this part of where it's casted, so it's not so far apart. And then also this is a solid stock of steel and not hollow in the center, so it's not as prone to breaking off. So it is just a easy upgrade and kind of cheap insurance because you don't want to lose your oil pump. So you can see here how much closer this is where it bolts up to the block, and then the other difference is this hole is hollow and this is solid steel. Look at that, brand new shiny parts. Because this is a helical gear, not a straight cut gear, you do have to kind of finagle it a little bit to get flush up in there. But you can look here and then down on here and on the back side and see that it's got the same distance between it. It's not sitting leaning in one direction or the other. There's 10 foot-pounds. Okay, nothing spining. We're gonna pump this up to 15, which is right there. Nice. Very good. There it is. All right, and then we'll jump up to 18. So 15, we got 16, 17, 18. Feels like a lot on such a small little bolt, but it's also a grade 8 bolt, so. Okay, there we go. 18 foot-pounds. And I also put blue Loctite on these so that I don't have to worry about them if for some reason one of them was to back off. You know, then the other ones are more likely to start backing off. So I put blue Loctite on them. I don't know if it's necessary, especially if it's torqued to 18 foot-pounds, but it's just a little bit more peace of mind. All right, moving on. Let's do the front wear sleeve. Clean up the timing cover gasket and get that all put together. And then we'll come back and do the gasket for the oil seal on the hydraulic pump, which is also basically married to the Holset air compressor. Putting the wear sleeve on the front main on the crankcase here. Simple tech tip that I found is really helpful to get it started is to use a seal driver, which is what you drive your seals on your front cover. That actually cups the sleeve really well and very flat, and you can tap it on. Obviously you can't go all the way because then you end up hitting this, which is, you know, flush with it. But once you get it started, then you can use your puller and reverse it. And I just drilled these holes out here so I can get a fluid dampener bolt. Lines up perfectly with it, and then you can press that on the rest of the way without damaging it and it'll leak. So something I found that's helpful. Okay, we have our wear sleeve pressed on. It's boring, so I'm sure you guys have done it before. You just want to make sure that your beveled end is on the outside, and then you'll have this little collar that slides over it. and that will allow this seal to slip over it without damaging the lip of it. So you want to make sure that you use that when you install your front case. So I got this all prepped, and I'm going to put the gasket on, put the case on, and also need to drive this into the front case. So we'll get that done. Okay, we got our front main seal installed. It's really nice to have one of these installers because it has the depth gauge already built into it, and it cups over the sleeve and it sits down there really nice and flush so that you don't end up getting in there crooked. Okay, so what I like to do is just take a little bead of like high temp black silicone, like RTV silicone maker, gasket maker, and put a bead all the way around that on both sides, and then I just kind of pancake it and roll it out and squish it. So there's not much material, just enough to fill any blemishes on the pan side or the block side. And then once you clamp that together and you torque it to 18 foot-pounds, it'll squish that into, let's say you got like some little nicks or something in here, that will help seal it. It's just cheap insurance. Some guys hate it because it makes a little bit more cleanup on the back end when you have to like if you have to get in here, change your pump timing or something. There's a little bit of, you know, cleanup on that, but we're getting ready to put this in. Let's go. Just want to ever so gently massage that over your new wear sleeve, because they're pretty snug. And then we'll put a bolt in here to make sure that our gasket's not drooping and falling in. You never just want to go to town on these with a drill or an impact and start screwing them off, because you're going to get something crusted or kink the gasket. Also, I just put a rust etching primer on this because I knew I was going to get it kind of dirty. I will clean it up again and then I'll paint the whole engine once I have this fully reassembled. But I hit it with a wire disc, wire wheel, and then put this rust etching primer on it. And I did that on quite a few of the parts. So once you get your timing cover on, you're just going to grab this thing and pull it out. And now you have your seal over your wear sleeve, and then your dust seal will go over the top of that. These are torqued to 18 foot-pounds. We got the fluid dampener bracket that's going to go here. It relocates our tachometer signal pickup. It's going here. Okay, so these are 92 foot-pounds. You also do them in a crisscross pattern. And that's 92 foot-pounds for the stock bolts. If you have ARPs, it's different. And the way you can torque these is with a bar over tool that just goes in the adapter plate back here and locks the flywheel. Pretty simple, straightforward. You just punch out your inspection hole, cover, plug, whatever, and throw that in there. Wow, she's looking really good. Basically, you're looking for 50,000, and this is close enough. The spec can be within 1,000, so I think it's 49 through 51,000. Get your card in there. You know you're close enough that your tack will work. Never had an issue with it, and you just want it to have a little bit of drag, almost like you're setting your the gap on your valves, setting your valve lap. So that's how you want it. Okay, head gasket's on, head's cleaned up, and we're getting ready to stick this thing on there. And we as in me, because I ain't got no help. Thing's heavier than I should possibly consider lifting, but who cares? Okay, we got the headset on very carefully. Didn't break anything, not even my back. I have my ARP head studs all cleaned up, so I'm just reusing the ARP 2000s. And I just need to put some ARP lube on there, and we'll start dropping them in. We got all the head studs threaded down hand tight, and got our pedestals put on. and all of the lockdown nuts backed off completely. So we're gonna go in a sequence. I believe it's 30, 60, 90, and then 125 for these ARPs. You'll see that some of these move, so that's why I just double and then triple check on the final torque. Like that one. Almost skipped this part videoing, but I just remembered setting the valve lash. Basically, you get your engine at top dead center, and then you do intake and exhaust. So it's 10 thou on the intake, 20 thou on the exhaust, and then it's intake on number 2, exhaust on number 3, intake, exhaust, and then you go 180 degrees, and then it's exhaust, intake, exhaust, I'm getting that backwards. Intake, exhaust, intake, and then intake and exhaust on both of these. Then we can get the valve covers on, put the gasket on the intake plenium, get that bolted down, and then start painting. That'll get your blood pumping and your heart racing. Oh man. Okay, cool. I'm so stoked that we're getting closer. Time to put the intake plenium runner on and gasket it, get our valve covers on, and then paint this surface that I got wire wheeled, and just over this. I pressure wash this. It's about as clean as it's gonna get. Someday when I do a shop and I have a sandblaster, I will sandblast this and paint it real pretty. But for now, we're just working with what we got. We've got about 6 coats of paint on everything now. Our intercooler pipes, valve covers, intake horn, the runner for the intake plenium, the turbo, and then the exhaust manifold, as well as the turbine out housing and the elbow. So yeah, things are looking good, guys. There's the old goal, just waiting for a heart transplant. All right, I think I'm gonna call that for tonight. My honey's home early off work today, so I'm gonna go spend some time with her. I will get back on this in the morning, and look forward to getting this wrapped up and getting her on the road. Back out here at it again today. I'm using old valve covers because I primed and painted this just so it doesn't rust. We got our injectors in. Those hold down as 44 foot-pounds. Got our intake horn on, the intake plenium. Also put the whole set air compressor on there with the new gasket, so that won't be leaking anymore. And we're getting ready to put on our injector lines, and then I can take this and start putting it in a truck, I think, unless I'm forgetting. Oh, I'm gonna put the exhaust manifold on once it's dry, and the turbo. All right, we got this thing ready to go back into the truck and start reassembling everything, hooking everything up, put some oil in it, put some coolant in it, hook up the fuel lines, the throttle bracket, air compressor, the hydraulic pump for power steering, and then it'll be time for our break-in run, which will probably happen tomorrow. All right, we got the engine hooked up. I completely changed my bracket on how this mounts to the fork, drilled this out a little bit bigger, and then made it so that I can actually pivot on the engine, which is really smooth. And that way I can just line it up really easily. Since I'm all by myself, it's a little hard to get this dialed in and then get it to mate up with the input on the transmission without having somebody help me spin it. So I'm really happy with that. It works really good. It's super smooth, and it also holds, like once it's there, it doesn't move around or start swinging. So yeah, I'm super stoked about that. I'm really excited to get this thing going. I'm happy with the color scheme too. These are all used just to get this in there and burn in the rings. And then I have my other valve covers that are already painted, along with the rest of the intercooler charge pipes and stuff over there. But it's pretty tight getting those valve covers in on the back here. And so instead of wiggling them in and out and getting them all dirty with my grungy hands, I'll do it this way. Let me know in the comments if you guys have ever successfully pulled an engine out of a 2008, 2010 without removing the hood. This is the first time I've done it. I've heard that it's impossible, and so I was like, challenge accepted, let's go. And got her did. Got her done, got her done. Done, got her did. All right, let's get to work. Well, she's coming along. Get stabbed in there. Little bits at a time. Well, we made a ton of progress today. Really excited about it. Got the engine tucked in here. Transmission's all bolted up. I do have to get a transmission isolator. I can't even think. My brain is so tired. But sits just in there like you'd expect it to. I'm really happy about these colors too. I can't wait to get my other red valve covers on here and see how she looks. But I think I'm gonna call that a night. Sun's going down, and gotta go change some irrigation out in the field, and then get cleaned up, eat some dinner, go to bed, repeat tomorrow. I hope you guys are enjoying watching this. I'll see you in the morning. Good morning, you guys. Had to make a town run to go get a couple of supplies that I needed, but I'm ready to jump back into this thing. Get the oil filled up, put a new filter on it, and then just start reconnecting everything that we disconnected. So our mostly electronic stuff, some coolant and the intercooler pipe and hydraulic lines for power steering, brake booster. Replace the transmission mount because that was pretty torn up, and get ready to take this thing out on the road and break in the rings. Okay, we're making some good progress, but I had to put this canopy up because it's like 98 degrees out, and anything sitting in the metal is just way too hot to handle. So I gave myself a little bit of shade so I can get this tackled and do our first startup. Okay, this thing is not super heavy, but it's a little awkward. Mainly because you pick it up, it usually pinches your fingers. Our rod hose is connected. Well, she is all put together. Fluids are all topped off minus the coolant. That's still working on a little bit. Got the new fuel pump in. Got the hydraulic fluid checked for the power steering pump. Got the oil filter new in. And all we gotta do tomorrow is fire it up, drive it down the end of the driveway and back to let it warm up, shut it off, let it cool off, reset the valve lash, and then hook up the skid steer on our flatbed trailer, and then go out of town a ways. There's a grade that's like a 7% grade, and we're gonna drive up and down that for about 4 hours to burn those rings in. So I'll see you guys in the morning. I'm gonna go get a shower. Actually, I'm gonna go change irrigation, then get a shower, then get food, then go to bed. All right, good morning. We got the skid steer loaded up last night. Everything's chained down. I've got lots of extra oil, extra coolant, extra power steering fluid, lots of jacks and tools, pretty much everything that I may or may not need. Hopefully everything goes well. I have a lot of confidence in my mechanic ability, but also this is the first time I've ever done a complete overhaul. So we're gonna see how it goes. And there's our field that needs more water. Okay, so I had a leaky return line, so I replaced that, but then I noticed where all the diesel was at, but it's actually kind of bubbling up around the head gasket. I'm a little concerned about that. Okay, well, that's where we're at, guys. Pretty disheartening, but sometimes you just gotta learn and keep moving forward. So this is gonna end it here for part 2. Stay tuned for part 3. I'm not sure when I can get that out. I gotta order another head gasket, take this all apart, and then reinstall that one. Hopefully it solves our problem. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you like this video, I have a lot of other videos like this that I know that you enjoy. Subscribe to the channel, give me a big thumbs up, and we'll see you on the next adventure.